Hey, what's going on YouTube? How you doing? No way of you responding to what I'm saying. Just no one being nice. This is Jones. Thank you very much for checking out my channel. I wanted to talk about a few things. One of many things I wanted to talk about is that some of you may not understand or know what's going on right now. So what's going on right now is basically, I think every day until the 23rd, look, we're about to have a really interesting time. It is said that we are in the storm, all right? There was a calm before the storm, and now we are in the storm. You're going to see some crazy, wild, weird, crazy crap going on, period. And you're going to be like, what the hell's going on? Now, please do not rely on the mainstream media to at all give you proper information. Cut that tie. Stop it. Get off the news. Stop watching television and get your news. This thing right here, as you're watching me, this is alternative news, an alternative media, an alternative way of getting information. A way of getting information in such a way that you've got multiple viewpoints to look at. You got mine, someone else's, and a million other people. Viewpoints. But you need to know who you need to pay attention to. Those who give the correct information, the proper information, in the best way that they can and can deliver. You want accuracy? And you want someone honest. If they say the wrong thing, you want someone to redact what they were saying. Take it back and be like, my bad. That's what you would want. Things that are going on right now is, as you've seen, I don't really know if the train in DuPont is a part of what's going on. Possibly. Atlanta, Georgia definitely is a part of what's going on. But if you didn't know, there is someone or a group dropping breadcrumbs to the American people. It is freaking interesting. Q-anon is the name that we associate with that. Now, this person's been going on 4chan and 8chan, and it may be a group. I think it's multiple people because as they do the analysis, and when I say they, people have looked into this and noticed that things are different from one post to another post on a different platform like 8chan when it really started on 4chan. You know, there's a way of looking into it and saying, okay, this is by someone totally different, and you can kind of gather whom it's from by analyzing it. Now, with that being said, all of America has come together to figure this out. So, you know, people have been tweeting the post that Q puts up. You know, they screen capture it, put it on a tweet, and then what Q does is he drops information. No. He doesn't drop information. Excuse me. You know what I fucking hate? Are cats. Okay? I'm sorry. I know America loves cats. Not myself. God, they're such an annoyance. Excuse me, right? These cats. Alright. Now, what Q is and what I'm talking about is someone or a few people dropping breadcrumbs. All it does is pretty much ask questions. It does insert some things here and there, but it pretty much just asks questions. And it's interesting because it asks these questions, and then in the future, something happens, and then you look back at it, and you're like, oh my God, it says that on line 12 and November 11th. It's the most amazing thing because continuously this kind of keeps on happening. Continuously. And we're able to kind of understand what's going on in the government. There's a lot of weird things going on in the government. You need to understand, yes, that we are in a civil war, basically, or a coup, however you want to put it. All of the above, maybe. A lot is going on. Like, maybe too much is going on. I don't even know how one human being, such as the president, can handle all this. Guy can't really use the bathroom without someone trying to assassinate him out of the toilet. To be honest, let's be real. This is some real shit. So, basically, and I think this is someone very close to the president, and I think it's the president who steps in at times and puts a few things into these breadcrumbs. I think he puts his spin on it. You kind of know how he does things. He likes to play it fast and loose, and you see some of that, fast and loose. And when someone gets insulted, that's got to be him. Just saying. Either way. So, there's someone dropping breadcrumbs, and it's very, very interesting that these breadcrumbs are being dropped, and that we're all kind of chipping in to get the answer. And then when we get the answer or what have you, another post drops down and says, maybe it might say good job, or maybe it might add to it, or maybe it might say you need to expand your thinking, or maybe there's just all sorts of amazing things going on, and we kind of need everybody to chime on in, okay? So if you were to follow people like Tracy Beans, I think that's the main person maybe you should follow. I like Roy Potter, um, Steve Motley. Now, wait. Tracy Beans and Roy Potter, maybe you want to follow the Twitter of those. Scott Anthony, you're going to want to follow his Twitter as well. To one of those three, or maybe all of those three, are going to drop you some Q information. I like to get the Q information from someone because I don't like to go on these type of websites and try to extract the information. I'm not familiar with the websites. These people, they can do some real things, and I don't need my machine connecting to their machine. I don't need that. So it's really nice that I can go, or that we can go in their website. From what I've heard, it's kind of hard to navigate, but it probably isn't. It's just when I say it probably isn't, it's just not your average. But I'm very sure it's well put together. I bet it's probably not hard. Maybe things are in alphabetical order. I don't freaking know. But yeah, I don't want to go on the website and try and figure out and find where these are at. So people put up tweets of the post. They take their pictures, put them up on Twitter, and then from there we can start hammering it down. And it's funny because you might team up with somebody, or people randomly, or put up some information. No, this means that. That means this, and the best information tends to rise to the top and stay there, right? It's mega interesting. I don't know if this is something like this has ever happened in the history of America, but I gotta say it makes it interesting. There's no reason for me to watch movies or television because we're living the movies or television, right? We're living this. This is what's going on. We got the most corrupt people, and when I say corrupt, they're killing other people, they're blackmailing people, they're their own occult, basically. They're their own cult. They worship. It is going to sound weird if you don't know already, but Satanism is kind of a thing. It's a very large, extra big thing, okay? Supersized with fries. It's freaking huge. So in these different places that you'll see, there are little symbols, and you're like, what the fuck was that? Things that you would never noticed before. But as you look into them, you see that things have a meaning. A lot of things have a meaning. It's the craziest thing. I have no clue how you go about life doing things and then you put a meaning to everything. Oh, we did it on this date. We did it at this time. 777-666-33. Just really interesting. Everything has a date. The longitude and latitude of 33. What? It's just it's the wildest thing. This is all a straight up movie. And by the way, don't forget about the robot, Sophia, artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is not something I want to see at all. I don't want to see that. I don't. Because artificial intelligence eventually is going to overrun us. And when I say this, why wouldn't it? The people who have the money to put these bots together, these robots, right? When a robot kills somebody, is it murder? If you go tell that robot to go kill that guy over there that you don't like because he fucking stole your ham sandwich last week, that ain't murder. That robot who basically has the same, I don't know, feelings as a microwave, same thought as a microwave. Not really, because they're smarter than that. They're like your smartphone. But listen, that piece of hardware over there just killed that guy. That's not murder. It really isn't, because a human didn't do it. Oh, it went rogue or an error, or they can say all sorts of things, and it's all going to stick. I've already seen the things that are in the news. Stupid things stick because people are covering up hardcore. It's disgusting. I'm tired of watching it without other people noticing it. But think about that. So Sophia, the robot, who now wants to start a family? Wants to start a family. All right. Either way. So these are the times that we're in. But please, if everybody can, try and look up this QAnon thing and take a look at it. My biggest thing is, though, I'm not... Now, besides the names that I mentioned, those names that I mentioned, that's where you want to find your QAnon information, okay? You could go with someone or a website and it not be the real thing, and that's a problem. But those three that I mentioned, that's the real deal, and it's really interesting. It is hard. You're really gonna need to take a crack at it, but we're all here to help each other out. As patriots, we need to be on the same page. The reason that these things are being dropped, leaked, whatever, by QAnon is to get the American public, get their mind going, get the juices rolling, so that things don't freak you out and that you can be prepared. For example, one of those things are you need to have 2 weeks of food and water. Period. You need to have 2 weeks of food and water, things to survive, and food, in case the power were to go out for a while. If you didn't know, we've got a shit ton of indictments. People are going to jail. By the way, Hillary, why's that boot still on your leg? John McCain, why's that boot still on your leg? Things are getting interesting. They're heating up. You should probably have a bag of popcorn next to you, for real, because I just can't. The craziest things are going on. The craziest things. And the mainstream media is not going to tell you that there's a shit ton of indictments. They may, and they may not. I don't watch the mainstream media. They may not tell you that, what was it, a week or two, that there was a huge bust in D.C. and in Woodbridge and in Northern Virginia. There's all sorts of crazy shit going on. Oh, and by the way, I do want to put out there that the fires in California are not by accident. They're not by accident. And it's not someone going out and lighting those fires. Right now, in 2017, if you hadn't heard, there are satellites out in space that are able to direct their energy, kind of like, imagine a telescope, a magnifying glass and an ant, right? That's the most basic, right? And you take a magnifying glass and you can burn an ant. You're not right up on the ant, are you? You're pretty far away. Now, I'm not saying that there's a huge lens up there that does it, but to magnify heat, not hard. You can magnify what the hell is that called? What the hell? As my words escape me. A laser pen. You can magnify a laser pen to point at like a balloon at a carnival or something and pop out those balloons. That type of energy isn't that hard for whom you're dealing with, like the Rothschilds and people who have some serious money like Soros. But I do believe that the ones doing what's going on in California, I think it's the Rothschilds who possibly own those satellites. Don't hold me to it, but I have seen videos on people showing documents of things paid for. Well, not really things paid for, but information back and forth talking about California. And apparently, if I'm correct, California is owned by the Chinese right now. Dumbass, whoever thinks he can sign away a state, has signed it to China, as well as Hawaii. Not that dumbass to Hawaii. I need to see what dumbass did it for Hawaii. But apparently, we are in debt with California. Not with California, but, we kind of got to give them California, and we kind of got to give them Hawaii. And this is the Chinese. If you notice that the patterns that the fires are, there is right now there's a plan to rebuild things. And if you took those plans, from what I've been told, to rebuild them, they 100%, it's a perfect layout. And if you haven't noticed how particular the fires are, they go around houses, but they melt the metal off of fucking cars. But they go around. It's a very particular path that it goes. It's so freaking odd, so weird. It crosses streets too, like big wide road, and the fire crossed the road, and then started burning things down. Listen, there's a lot of things on it, and if you looked into it, you'd notice that it doesn't make any goddamn sense. But they know what they are doing. And by the way, it seems like they're going to build tiny houses. The rebuild plans look like they're going to build tiny houses. They're not going to build normal size houses, right? They're building tiny houses. They're going to jam people in there is what it looks like. But once again, let me keep this below 15 minutes. I appreciate you looking. Talk to you soon.